Well, I had planned on going to bed, period. I had my night clothes on and had every intention of counting sheep. But then the idea for another YouTube video hit me. And it was filled with pertinent information that I believe everyone should be informed of. So, I suppose I'll make another video for you guys. That would be 3 in one day. First, I can tell you, in all honesty, full disclosure, full reality, and 500% of the truth, I never started to make YouTube videos because I wanted to become some kind of overnight success or a billionaire or whatever. I don't need 15 minutes of fame because I've had way too much of that shit and it's not worth it. Trust me. These people out here making YouTube videos and doing all that shit these days and thinking they're going to get their 5 minutes of fame and doing all that, it is not fucking worth it. I have lived that life and I do not care for it. I could live that life again at any moment and I do not care to participate in that lifestyle. Wealth and fame and stardom is good for some people, but that is not my personality type. I am a type A personality, but I do not need that much limelight. It is certainly not my thing. On that same note, if you watch my other videos at some point in the near, present, or distant future, you will realize that the only reason I started making YouTube videos was because of one of my best friends who said that it would be easier for me because I like to talk and my brain moves too quickly for my hand to be able to transcribe information. And then she thought at the same time that my sense of humor should be shared with other people. So, that is the reason that I make the videos that I make. It is my heartfelt diary, and I only make YouTube videos because my brain thinks so quickly that it's easier for me to talk about it and write it down later than it is for me to try to write things down as quickly as I speak most of the time. And for those of you who have seen my YouTube videos in the past, you know that my brain moves in about 500,000 different directions in any given second. So I think that her suggesting that I make these videos was a positive thing. And not to mention the fact my life is an open book anyway, so why not share it with the world? For those of you who have previously seen my videos, you will be able to note the fact that I have not lived the most easy of lives that a human can live. And I am happy as hell for that, because it has designed me into the person that I actually am. But I will tell you, for those of you who do not know, there is a secret to that. Once upon a time, and I'm not being funny, I'm being serious, there was an ugly duckling who blossomed into a swan. And one day she heard a song, And it was by the group The Birds, and it was called Turn, Turn, Turn. And as I got older, that song would resonate in my brain. And I would always sing it in my mind. And then one day, I was actually a housekeeper, like fucking Cinderella, believe that shit or not. And the TV in the tenants in one of the cabins, I wasn't no regular housekeeper, honey. Trust me. I worked for some high class $300 per night cabins in the mountains where I'm from, and the shit had to be immaculate. But one of the tenants, after they left, had left the television on, and there was this preacher on, and for some reason his voice captivated me, and it led to, he brought up a verse out of the Bible, and I was like, wait a minute. Ironically enough, it was the exact same song, Turn, 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 by the Birds. And I was like, wait a minute, these guys were on to something. The guy who was preaching was Charles Stanley. I want to show you just how karma wraps up around your little tiny finger. So be prepared to be in awe if you believe in coincidence or fate. The guy was preaching. His name is Charles Stanley. He preaches out of Atlanta, Georgia right now. The song by the Birds, Turn, 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 is also a book in Proverbs, which is how and what I live my life by. If I can find it, I will tell you what it says. Everybody, if you don't know the song, you can look it up. But it says, it's Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verses 1 through 8. For everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under heaven. There is a time to be born. There is a time to die. There's a time to plant and a time to harvest. There is a time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. And it goes on and on and on. And for some reason, that particular day, those two realities collided in my brain. The song is the exact same thing as a verse out of Ecclesiastes. Not to mention the fact Proverbs and Ecclesiastes are my two favorite books of the Bible. A lot of people love Psalms. I'm not real fond of Psalms because it's a bunch of there are a few verses in there that's fine, but it's a bunch of sing-song poetry. My point is, Charles Stanley, the preacher who was preaching that, is from the exact same town in North Carolina as my American Indian grandmother is from. And they would, if she were still alive, would have been exactly the same fucking age. So they obviously knew each other because it's an extremely small town. My point is, karma, fate, inspiration, magic, whatever, you never know where it's coming from. You would not even be able to comprehend how complex all that shit is. The funny, not really funny, the most magical part about it is that when I heard that song and remember that song and he was preaching that verse, I was in the very same town that my great grandmother and Charles Stanley, the preacher, are from. Never put two and two together. Never knew any of that information before. I discovered that a lot more late in life. But they all of those events coincided at the exact same time when they should have. And that is extremely magical to me. It may not be to unbelievers, but that's not just a coincidence. I can tell you that for those of you out there who may even be remotely interested in having a relationship with me, I'm not at all the easiest person to love. It does not matter if you are a member of my family, a member of my community, a friend, whatever. I make that shit completely difficult, and I do it intentionally. I test people. That is one of the reasons that I am not married now. I have had great relationships, great loving relationships, but the issue, and it's not one that I have, it's one that everybody else has, is people have forgotten about true love. And it does exist. I've been in it. It just passed. Not positively. But true love does exist. It always has, it always will. It's not just in fairy tales. True love exists between family members. True love exists in love relationships, friendships. It doesn't just have to be true love as far as relationships are concerned. But, moving on, I have been in true love, and I fully believe in it. So, I test every relationship I'm in constantly. It does not matter if it's a family member. It does not matter if it's a friendship. I don't even know if most of you realize this, but there are so many people that want to be my friend, and I'm like, I don't need you as a friend. And I will push people away constantly. And I do that shit intentionally. Because anybody that truly cares about you and truly wants to be your friend or a member of your family or your lover or your partner, they will fight for you. And my belief is, if you're not willing to fight for me and overcome and see through my bullshit, then you're not worth my time at all. There's no if, and, but, coulda, shoulda, woulda. No. I test everybody. And the issue is about 99.9% of those people fail. I believe that everyone should test people. And I will explain to you why. If someone is not worth your time, you should know about it up front. You can be in a relationship for 20 years, 1 year, and we're talking, when I say relationship, that means family, friend, foe, lover, whatever. It's a generic statement. A relationship. A relationship is a relationship. You can be in that shit forever and not realize that the person you're in that relationship with, your best friend, could stab you in the back at any fucking moment. Like I said earlier, people are laying in wait. You have got to get rid of those people before they even can have an advantage over you. Get rid of them quick, fast, and in a hurry. Don't wait around on these motherfuckers. They don't have your best interest at heart. But if you test them from the damn day one, like I do, I would rather suffer that heartache from day one than to spend 5, 10, 20 years with somebody, 5, 10 months with somebody, 5, 10 days with somebody, and think that this is my new friend or my new lover or new whatever, than I would to not find that information out from the get-go. I test people intentionally. I can tell you how I test people. It's extremely simple. Most of you probably don't know how to do that, but it's ultimately boils down to manipulation. You simply subliminally suggest things to people, among other things, and that's a whole nother video. But I rather enjoy testing people just to see how faithful they really are. Pardon me. You would be shocked at the outcome. Especially friends and family, they're the worst. Relationships are probably the easiest of all, because you can, like, I can throw anybody away. And like that verse from Ecclesiastes I told you, people think I'm the evil queen sometimes, because if a friend of mine passes away, if a family member passes away, blah, 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 etc., 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 it doesn't faze me, because I know that they've moved on to a better place. I see people at funerals and all this, crying and doing all this, and my brain does not conceive that. My brain does not see the same thing that theirs does. It realizes that that is life. That's part of a person's life. You move on. And I'm not going to cry because somebody moved on to something better than Earth or this earthly plane. That's just not in my capacity to do that. People move on all the time. Why would you cry about that? I understand it. To me, crying is a very selfish thing to do. About anything. Think about it. If you're crying say you lost your boyfriend. You weren't meant to be together to fucking begin with. If someone in your family dies, your grandmother dies, why are you crying about it? She moved on to a better place. Crying can be completely unselfish as well. That's a double-edged sword. If I cry about anything, it's mostly because I'm happy. It is not usually because I'm sad. I have caught myself every so often crying because I'm sad about something, and then I think about how selfish I am being, which is a whole nother YouTube video by itself. But if you think about why you're experiencing an emotion, especially crying, because that's an intense emotion, then you will learn a lot about your own self and your own motives. It is very easy for me to give you a full disclosure and a complete example of what I am talking about when I say those things. I cannot keep a man around. Actually, if you want to be technical about it, I will not keep a man around because there is too much fucking drama involved. First, men these days have surpassed sloth and vanity and lust. Name a 7 deadly sin and they have committed it. I'm not interested in any of that. I have people that try to wrap themselves around me that say, I'm nice, I'm hot, I'm friendly, and do all this, that, and other. I'm good in bed, and all this. Since when is that for you to judge? That is for another person to judge. First and foremost, I don't want you fucking telling me that shit to begin with. That is for whatever happened to the days when people evolved in a relationship together. Whether it be a friendship, a love relationship, a family relationship. You don't just get to point out, oh, this is what's good about me and this is what's bad about me. I don't go around advertising what's good about me. Personally. That's for somebody else to judge. I mean, I could think I'm the hottest thing since sliced bread. But that's not necessarily true. I'll let other people judge that. But my point is, I don't keep men around. Intentionally. Because men, for some reason, are not chivalrous anymore. And they don't have a fucking backbone. They are so worried about impressing somebody else that they will lie about not having a vehicle. They will lie about why they don't have a job. They will lie about why they did not go to college. And the worst lie of all is when they tell you that they love you and they don't even love themselves. That is the key to love. You have got to love yourself and be stable before you can love somebody else. I see straight through that bullshit. So believe me when I say, if you knew how many people I meet, the L word, the love word, will fly out of some motherfucker's mouth in a heartbeat. Male, female, it don't matter. It will fly out of their mouth. You gotta see through that bullshit. That is why I test people. And like I said, 99.9% of those people fail my test. The test is simple. You push and you probe and you dissect through word, which means in speaking to someone, dissect that shit. Figure out who they really are. Don't just be going into a love relationship or a friendship because you think you need a friend. Honey, there are so many fair weather friends, which equals fake friends out there. They are just, the only reason they want you in their friendship circle is so they can stab you in the back. They want to make fun of you behind your back. They want to talk shit about you behind your back. They want you just to make their self look good. Trust me, I was that girl. I was the fucking evil queen. Seriously. I never did that to anybody, but I was the one person that people would come to because they thought that I was that girl, and they would talk shit about other people. And let me tell you, in my group of friends, that is what sets me apart from most people. In my group of friends, all the fucking cheerleaders, all the jocks wanted to come and say, Jessica, oh, this is going on, this is going on, this is going on, this is going on, this is going on. I was like, you know what? I don't want to fucking hear it. I actually like this person you're making fun of. So don't even bring that shit to my front door. And they'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you knew them. They're cool. And you know what happened? The people that they were talking shit about suddenly became part of our crowd. That is one good gift that God gave me. I was always friends with everybody. Jocks, cheerleaders, tennis players, volleyball players, basketball players, gothics, grunge, anything you can think of, metalheads. I was always friends with everybody. In fact, I was the bitch that got the fucking cheerleaders and the jocks to smoke weed because it was weed and it's fun. So at any rate, moving on, I've always been the mediator. And I love that job. Sometimes I despise it. But I love that job. I've always been the one to set people straight. They always come to me. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this person. I don't like this person. I don't like what they're doing. She's fat. She's got pimples on her face. And God blessed me because you know how many pimples I've had in my life? I think maybe a handful, maybe 5 pimples my entire life. But that's because I take care of my skin. But at any rate, I've heard it all. And I was always the most popular one that could say, hey, look, I don't fucking think so. Take that shit on somewhere else. Save that shit for Oprah. Save it for Jerry Springer. Don't get me wrapped up in this shit. Because the bitch you're talking about just happens to be one of my friends. I like this person. You know? Don't bring that shit up to me. Because that's the quickest way to get your fucking ass whipped. I mean, I was crazy in high school. I have always been the Mediator. Even in the recent past 5 years, the recent past 6 months, recent past week, I've mediated shit. I look out for the little man all the time. If somebody's picking on you, all you gotta do is call my phone and I will be right motherfucking there. That is the kind of person that I am. But my point, going back to my point, was I can't keep people around me. I don't want a whole group of friends around me. I don't want a bunch of guys wanting to have sex and doing all that. I've lived that life. It's no fun. It's fucking boring. They're not any good half the... 9 out of 10 men that you have sex with ain't no fucking good. Trust me, I've been down that road and I know it. 9 out of 10 men you have sex with, there might be one, if you're lucky, that even gives a fuck and knows what the hell he's doing. For the most part, they ain't even worth it. Women, same way, been down that road too. They're just as fucking boring. The only thing about women is they come with more drama. Of course, men these days, it's kind of a toss-up. It's like playing fucking Russian roulette with your sex life. I've been down every one of them damn roads. Trust me, it ain't even fucking worth it. My point mostly is, before you call someone your friend or your best friend or your BFF or whatever, you need to make sure that that is exactly what they really are, and that is what their true intention is. Because I will tell you that if I want to think about this from a statistical point of view, I could honestly say that 98% of the people that you know right now that you think are your friends, or your friend, or your boyfriend, or your husband, or your family member, they're going to stab you in the fucking back. It's just a fucking reality. I know it. I've lived it. I'm the coolest fucking chick you will ever goddamn meet. Because I will tell you the truth to your face. And I will end this video by saying that I tell people the truth because the truth hurts. And people need to know the truth so that they can make more wise decisions. I love you guys. Give me some subscribers. Like I said, I'm not on here to make my 15 minutes of fame because I've already had hours and hours of that shit. So I don't really need it. Subscribers are nice though because I like to meet new people. Love you guys.